was I started working in the Arts Picture House cinema. That's not really the very beginning. I started volunteering actually. I just sort of quit university and I was looking to do anything to do with film, and I went back to my sixth form college where I had previously worked and studied, and one of my old tutors advised me to go to the Arts Picture House cinema and see what kind of education film events were happening there. And there's an organisation based in the cinema called the Cambridgeshire Film Consortium, and they were running a climate change film festival, and they needed someone to help as a filmmaker, because they were getting young people to make films for this film festival. And I said I can do that, and I started doing that as a volunteer. So I did that, and then they also needed someone to make DVDs for the judges to watch the films, because there was a competition. And I said I can do that too, and then that was paid, some funding. So I was paid to do that. So I guess that was probably my first ever freelance job. And then, you know, I started working at the cinema, got a job here, and then started doing technical work for the Cambridgeshire Film Consortium. And then Trish, who I do this work with and for, she asked me if I wanted to run like a workshop and like teach young people how to make films. And I said yes, I could do that. So then I started doing 2-hour workshops, and those turned into 1-day workshops, and then they turned into courses. So I started teaching filmmaking on a freelance basis for the consortium, as well as my own filmmaking work. And then, because when you start doing that, Trish started talking to other people, I'd talk to other people, people would see my work from my teaching, and then, you know, people would contact me about freelance filmmaking work, and I started doing that too. My first ever one was like I had to make films to go with a play, with like a theatre sort of play. There were films screened on you know, projected with the play. So I did that. Yeah. One of the benefits is, for the most part, you can set your own dates for when you want to work, and you can take on as much. Well, I suppose if you're fortunate enough to have enough people asking you to do jobs, you can take on as much or as little work as you like. You know, you can book in holidays, you know, whenever you like, and you can you know, work on the days that you want to work on, get up when you want to get up. It all depends. I mean, a lot of my teaching is locked in, so I teach every Tuesday morning, so I have to get up on that day to do that. So there's certain things that are locked in, you know, if you've got something that's consistent. But with other jobs, you know, you can decide what date it happens. You can work in the evening if you want. You can work for, you know, 3 days flat and then have a couple of days off if you want. You know, you can work at the weekend if you want, and then have a couple of days off during the week. I guess the freedom to be able to pick the projects that you actually want to work on. You know, if you're not freelance and you're working with a company, you have to do the tasks that are given to you, and if you like them, then great. But if not, then, you know, you have to do it anyway. Whereas with freelance work, if a job crops up, I can look at that job and I'll go, am I going to enjoy that? You know, is this a job I actually want to do? And I can take a decision about, you know, whether I should do it or not. And that's a huge benefit, because then that means that every job I'm working on, I actually believe in. Yes, I do have an accountant, but she advises me, so I'll email her and ask her questions. But for the most part, she pretty much just does my tax return when I pay her to do my tax return. She doesn't do bookkeeping, all that stuff. I have to keep on top of invoices. I send all my invoices. I keep on top of you know, which ones are sent, which ones are paid. You know, if I don't get one paid, I have to email people to ask them. And over the years, I've sort of figured out a system that suits me. So yeah, I have an accountant, which is great because you know, don't feel like I'm particularly good at maths, so I wouldn't be able to trust myself with my tax return.